Hello and welcome to the RotoWire Esports Show. My name is Ethan, and with me as always is DFS Chan. Chan, how are you today?
Good. How are you, Ethan?
I'm doing pretty well, man. No complaints here. Today's slate, man, a two-gamer. We weren't that excited about it. We saw two sweeps. Invictus Gaming picking up a much-needed win over the worst team in the league, so good for them for getting that done. But the more interesting one was Thunder Talk coming through with a big sweep this morning, Chan. They won game one pretty comfortably with 20 kills, and then game two they had to fight for it a bit more, but they ended up with 42 kills across two games and picked up a big sweep over Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, it was a huge win for Thunder Talk, and we were right about using the long stack from that game as we expected. It was more bloody than the IG Victory 5 game. But yeah, Xiao Peng, I mean, he's, again, really good jungler. I think he's probably going to go to another team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Probably one of the elite teams next season. I mean, he looked really good. So he really carried that team. And then, Rogue Warriors really had, they were in the game in game two for a little bit. But I just feel like, they just kind of fell apart. And, the hype train has stopped for the time being. So, but yeah, it was more like I feel like Thunder Talk was less bad. They were better in team fights, and Xiao Peng made a lot more plays than Xiao Hao did for Rogue Warriors, in my opinion. So, yeah, clean 2-0. And then Invictus Gaming in the other matchup, yeah, I mean, like you said, they took care of business. Victory 5 is probably the worst team in the LPL, so no more to be said.
Yeah, if they lost that one, then they'd really be, digging their own grave, basically, man. But yeah, the Shy bounced back. He had 11 kills in the series to lead IG. But IG only needed 31 kills. Both games were pretty one-sided. So yeah, it was a good call by us to get the long stack right. I think we both favored Rogue Warriors though. So, but we did say, that Thunder Talk winning was not going to be a surprise to either one of us. So hopefully enough people kind of went. Maybe made lineups with both those teams in IG, and then they ended up scoring all right. But yeah, Xiao Peng is awesome, man. He's really fun to watch. He seems like a really great jungler. I wonder, if he does make a move in the offseason, what team he could potentially go to. Do you think, could he replace like an SOFM on Suning? Maybe. I mean, speculating about this is worthless because who knows where it'll go, right? But I'm just trying to add some time to our video because otherwise this is going to be about an 8-minute video with another 2-minute game. So, could he replace a guy like SOFM on Suning? Maybe. Do you think he's good enough that he could even replace like JJ on EDG? Or do you think he's, his position's pretty safe?
JJ is probably safe. I was more thinking maybe for Rare Adam. Maybe he could place Leanne there. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at some elite teams, but yeah, I mean, elite teams are elite for a reason because they really have a really good jungler, in my opinion, all of them, except for maybe Rare Adam or, like you said, Suning. I mean, obviously Leanne and SOFM are decent junglers and on their own, but yeah, I mean, Xiao Peng, in my opinion, is going to be a huge upgrade for any of these teams. Yeah, like you said. So
yeah, I think so too. It'll be interesting, but we'll see what happens in the offseason. There's always a flurry of crazy moves happening. So, we'll see what happens there. Chan, just to go ahead, man. Sorry.
Yeah. One more thing is for DFS purposes. I think in some of my contests, Xiao Peng captain actually turned out to be the optimal lineup with June on IG. So basically stacking two junglers on the, on those teams was the optimal lineup in some of my contests. I don't know about all of the contests, but yeah. So I as we mentioned, Xiao Peng carries a lot of load for that team, and he has a very high kill participation and kill share percentage for that team. So yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't heard our videos about Xiao Peng or Thunder Talk, but yeah, we kind of emphasize the fact that he does a lot for that team. So hopefully a lot of people played Xiao Peng at captain today and made some money. So
yeah, if you were gonna go to Thunder Talk, I think he was definitely the choice for captain for sure. Sometimes it's like a mental block thing, right? So if you played Thunder Talk in IG today, you had enough money that you could play double mid or double 80 carry. But it seems like this year, and especially the summer split, double jungle is really the optimal way to play in China at least, they really play through their junglers. I mean, a lot of their junglers not only end up with the highest kill participation, a lot of them end up being the carries in these games. So double jungle's really been the way to go so far this year. I totally get it though. Like when you're on DraftKings and you can pay up for double AD carry, it feels like the right thing to do, right? But I feel like in China this year, double jungle is almost always the right way to build your lineups.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was today's slate. A quick 2-gamer, 2 sweeps. Not much else to say about it, I guess. We'll jump into tomorrow. We got another 2-gamer. I think this one's actually we kind of were lamenting today's slate on yesterday's video, but this one's pretty good, Chan. I mean, this is 2 series that I think could go either way as we jump into them here. So kicking things off, we've got WE going up against LGD. WE are 6-4, 7th place in the LPL. LGD, after their hot start, they've faded back a little bit, but they're 6-6, just outside a playoff spot right now. With a 500 record, they're in 11th place. I think this is a pretty interesting series here, Chan, that could potentially go either way. I think either team has a pretty good shot of winning. WE are priced as the favorites on DraftKings, but who do you like here?
Yeah, I like WE here, but this is also the matchup where I will have a share of both teams, both WE and LGD. Not only because either team could win, but also because this is the marquee matchup of the day on the slate to target for kill upside. This is definitely the faster in terms of kill upside and combined kills per minute metric compared to the other matchup. So yeah, I'll definitely have a little bit of a WE and LGD. But yeah, and to note, WE is starting Shanks at mid still over Mole, which I like, for WE, and then LGD is starting Garvey at top instead of Fearness. So, those are notable roster selections there for both teams. But yeah, at the end of the day, I like WE here to bounce back. I know LGD has been, on the downhill for a while now. That they've been kind of shaking up their top position between Garvey and Fearness, but it hasn't helped, in my opinion, for LGD. I feel like, frankly, that's not where the issue is. I feel like, the issue is in the bottom lane. I feel like Kramer and Mark have not been playing well, in my opinion, and going up against Elk and Missing, I feel like that's the edge, in my opinion, that WE will have. And I know Beishang has been playing much better lately for that team. So I like WE here, maybe 2-0 here over LGD.
Yeah, I think I favor WE as well. We both like when Shanks is starting instead of Mole. We weren't that hyped up about either guy, right? But I think WE have looked better when Shanks is starting over Mole so far. So I think I favor WE as well, but I think this is the series that's the Thunder Talk Rogue Warriors series from today, where I totally agree with you. I think this is where you want your long stack from. And I think you could play, if you're playing multiple lineups, I would recommend playing multiple lineups and getting pieces of each team, with a team from the second series here. So I'm with you. I think WE, even though they haven't looked great, I think they're still a little bit better than LGD. So maybe I'm not quite as on board with the sweep. But maybe it's like a 2-1, but a sweep certainly wouldn't be a surprise either. So I'm with you. I think I favor WE, but LGD definitely a live underdog here. Heading over to the second series of the day, Chan, we've got BLG taking on JDG. JDG 7-4, 5th place in the LPL. BLG 6-5, 9th place in the LPL. BLG have shown that they can upset teams ahead of them in the standings. So I think they're a live underdog here. And JDG, for the most part, have been good this year, but have slipped up a couple times. So do you give BLG much of a shot here, or do you think this will be pretty comfortable for JD Gaming?
Yeah, I think this is a tough matchup for JDG, in my opinion. I think JDG will still prevail, in my opinion. I know they just came off of a really bad series loss against Suning. I know, we joke about Suning, but I just feel like, the fact that Suning lost to Rogue Warriors and then beat JDG kind of tells me that JDG was not in good form as well. So I don't know. I just feel like the talent gap and the fact that it's just scratch off that Suning game, I feel like JDG has been playing well. Just just without that Suning game, their metrics look really good. So I just feel like they're gonna get back to their old days, the recent form that they were in. And I know BLG just lost to Top Esports in their 2 series ago. So, but I know Top Esports is a good team, but the way that they lost to Top Esports didn't look very good. I know they only had like 6 kills in game 1 against Top Esports, and then 10 kills in game 2. So I just feel like the fact that JDG likes to skirmish and likes to engage in team fights, and BLG kind of does not. They pick and choose their team fights. I just feel like JDG will be too much, in my opinion, and prevail over BLG today.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think BLG are solid, but they're just not that exciting. Like, would it surprise me if they beat JDG? No, but I'm not going to favor them here. I think JD Gaming deserve to be favorites. They're the biggest favorites on the slate, and I think they're worth paying up for. I think, like we said, we want the long stack from the other series, but I think this slate is a perfect example, again, of double jungle probably going to end up being the optimal way to build. Kanavi, anytime he's on a slate, you want him on your team if you think JD Gaming are going to win, and he's always an option to be captain because he is really the carry of this team right now.
Yeah. And just to add to the fact that why we think JDG will win, BLG, I know they lost to Top Esports and they won a couple games, in their own rights, but that was against Thunder Talk and then Rogue Warriors. So, obviously those are not impressive wins in the middle of, losing to, let's say, Top Esports and then Team WE 4 series ago. So, yeah, I just feel like, they had some wins, but they were against, very, very bad opponents. But against good teams, even though they beat FPX, I feel like they caught FPX, at the wrong time when FPX was going through kind of rough patch with Nuguri struggling and all that. So, and then Crisp, getting subbed out for health reasons. So I just feel like, just looking at the opponent history recently, I just feel like it helps our case that JDG will win this series.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I still think JD Gaming are one of the best teams in China. They haven't been the most consistent this entire year, really. And maybe they lack, some of the upside as a few of the teams ahead of them, but I definitely like them still and think they should be fine here tomorrow.
One more thing I'll add is that I feel like just this split, I feel like JDG has struggled against good bottom lane teams. I know Suning has beat JDG. And then let's say WE has beat JDG has struggled against them. So I just feel like Loken and Lamau have been their liability. I feel like Zoom, Kanabi, and Gao have been playing well this split, but Loken and Lamau have not been playing well. And it's just that Aiming and PP God on the other side of the matchup for BLG do not really scare me that much.
Right.
PP God has not been in good form, and Aiming has been decent, but I just feel like, that duo don't really scare me, to be able to beat JDG. So, but on the other side, for DFS purposes, like you said, I mean, Kanavi, like you said, should be the focal point. He does so much for that team, just like Xiaopeng did for Thunder Talk today. Yep. And then Gao actually has the highest kill percentage in their wins. So it looks like to me that, Kanavi and Yagao should be, your focal point. But I just feel like, the long stack from the WE and LGD makes sense, in my opinion. I know most DFS players will like to, jam in 4 players from the biggest favorite in JDG, but, you have to be, differentiate yourself. You have to be a little different, in cash contests and also in GPP especially. So I just like the long stack, whether you pick LWE or LGD. I mean, I just feel like the long stack from that matchup will make the difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Chan, the chat is really popping off on YouTube here today. We're recording a little later, so I think a few more people are able to catch us. And we got a question. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. So, he's asking here, what position we like for captain tomorrow. I think for me, it's going to be double jungle. I expect that's going to be pretty chalky, but I like double jungle tomorrow for the captain. So I like having Kanavi either as your captain or as your jungler. And then whether you're playing LGD or WE, I would take Beisheng or Shadow. as your other pick, and then decide which one of those two junglers you want to captain. But I think it's double jungle with these teams for me because, as we said, Kanavi is really the carry for JDG this year. And then Beishang and Shadow have also been pretty great carry options as well. So it's double jungle for me. Do you agree, or would you, prioritize, if you have the money, would you prioritize maybe double mid or double top, or, double top, we like Breathe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're going to bring him up. I'll let you talk about him. But would you do double AD carry or double mid if you have the money, or would you rather just go double jungle or elsewhere?
I would definitely prioritize double jungle here. Like you said, Kanavi and Beishang, I feel like has more kill upside than Breathe and Zoom, in my opinion. So only because Zoom is not the same caliber player as Breathe is in terms of kill upside. So yeah, Kanavi, Beishang definitely. I haven't looked at the exact pricing on the DraftKings yet, but if you can fit in Yagao and Shanks, I mean, I know they're from two favorite teams. Somehow, if you can do that, obviously that will work as well. But yeah, I mean, most likely, I think, like you said, two jungle stack would be probably the most optimal choice, in my opinion, on this slate. Now, if you go to LGD, JDG, if you think LGD as the underdog will win, yeah, I mean, Shadow, Kanavi, that is a really, really good stack, in my opinion, because Shadow is also an aggressive jungler, and he, tends to participate in a lot of team fights for that team. But yeah, ZA and Yagao in mid lane stack and then jungle stack probably would be my two top choices for stacking today.
Yeah, same here. So it's double jungle for us. That probably ends up being fairly popular, but that's all right. Maybe if you get the 4-man from WE and LGD, that differentiates you enough that you'll make some profit. Chan, anything else you want to go over for tomorrow's slate before we go? I think we did a pretty good job of covering it. It's a 2-gamer, but I like both matchups. I think there's definitely a case to be made that you can play any of these 4 teams, which is nice on a 2-game slate.
Yeah, I guess one stand I'll make today is just using the long stack from that WE and LGD game, because I mean I just ran through all the numbers for combined kills per minute in every single scenario, like all the games they have played throughout the split, and then only July games, and then also in the case WE wins, LGD wins, but every single metric favors that matchup to have a higher kill upside. And I think that will give us, the viewers edge, in my opinion, because like I said, a lot of people will try to jam in 4 players for JDG as the biggest favorite.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I'm on board with that for sure. Chan, thanks as always, man. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please feel free to give us a like and subscribe to the channel down below. Keeps you up to date on when we're going live. And then if you can't catch us live, the videos are always on the channel as soon as we're done recording, so you can check them out. If you want to check out RotoWire, you can go to rotowire.com/try. Free 10-day trial, no credit card required. And once you're signed up, you can go to rotowire.com/chat and join the subscriber-only Discord channel. Server, I should say. There's multiple channels. But the esports channel's really been pretty lively lately. So thanks to everybody who's signed up and joined the Discord. It's made for some good conversations. So Chan, thanks as always, man. It's an interesting one tomorrow. Should be fun. Good luck to you and good luck to everybody watching.
Good luck, everybody. Thanks, Ethan.